The NSA spying. Tucker Carlson Tonight host Tucker Carlson said last week on his program that he has information from a whistleblower showing that the NSA is spying on him and planning to leak sensitive communications to get his show canceled. Tucker joins us right now. Tucker, it's great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, yeah. You are the only people I get up for, Maria. It's an honor to be here. Yeah, you don't go on TV lightly to say the government is spying on me because you sound like a crazy person. And, of course, you would never say that unless you knew that it was true. And I did know that it was true, almost accidentally. I was in Washington for a funeral last week and ran into someone I know well who said, I have a message for you. And then proceeded to repeat back to me details from emails and texts that I sent and had told no one else about. So it was verified, and this person said, look, the NSA has this, and that was proven by the person repeating back the contents of the email, and is going to use it against you. Now, to be totally blunt with you, I would never have said this in public if it was something I felt was wrong or illegal or immoral. They don't actually have anything on me, but they do have my email. So I knew they were spying on me, and again, to be totally blunt with you, as a defensive move, I thought I better say this out loud because I have no other way to defend myself. I'm just an American citizen. I don't have, any position of official authority, but I do have a megaphone, so I should say this out loud. And I did. And the NSA didn't deny it. Then yesterday, I learned that, and this is going to come out soon, that the NSA leaked the contents of my email to journalists in an effort to discredit me. I know because I got a call from one of them saying, oh, this is what your email was about. So it is not in any way a figment of my imagination. It's confirmed. It's true. They're not allowed to spy on American citizens. They are. I think more ominously, they're using the information they gather to put leverage and to threaten opposition journalists, people who criticize the Biden administration. It's happening to me right now. And I think it's shocking, and I don't think we should put up with it in a free country.
It's worse than shocking. This is the stuff of banana republics and third world countries. Tucker, there's no way that anybody else saw those emails. And this whistleblower relayed to you exactly what was in your communication. And there's no way anybody else could have seen those emails.
There was one other person who knew that I sent the email, and it was my executive producer, Justin Wells. That's it. And I didn't mention it to anybody else, including my wife. I mean, there's just no possibility that anyone else could have known. And then again, yesterday, I got a call right before air at like 7:15 from a journalist I know and like. Not many left, but I do like this person. And he repeated back to me what's in my email. And he got it because the NSA had leaked it. So, yes, it's entirely real. And I thought long and hard before saying it because, your credibility is the currency, of course, if you're on television and you don't want to seem delusional or like a conspiracy nut or a crazy person. I try to be fact-based, to the extent that we can and not be crazy and not say things that we can't prove. But this is actually true. And by the way, they essentially confirmed it. I had a shouting match last week with NSA officials where I asked them point blank. They said, well, you're not a target of an investigation, which is a term of art used in the so-called intel community. And I said, stop with your BS. Were you reading my emails or weren't you? Well, we're not going to respond to that. Really? You're not going to tell me whether you're reading my emails. Clearly you were. Why can't you tell me? We can't respond to that. So in other words, they won't answer your questions. They won't tell you why they won't answer your questions. And it's just like, shut up and obey, surf. They don't owe you an explanation.
Yeah.
And my view is I'm a 52-year-old American citizen who pays his taxes and obeys the law. You can't treat me like I'm a peasant. I'm an American citizen. This is a republic. Like you can't talk to me that way. You can't talk to any American citizen that way. Who do you think you are? You running your own country or something? No, you're a federal bureaucrat.
Unbelievable.
And you owe me an explanation. That's my opinion. I'm sorry. I've lived here my whole life. I feel like they owe that to me.
Yeah, and the statement that we just put on the screen from the NSA, again, doesn't deny it, but plays word games and says what the NSA does in terms of monitoring foreigners.
Right. That's exactly right. And what's so striking to me is, look, I'm out of step with most people in journalism in Washington. Most of them are defenders of the Biden administration. They see themselves as Democratic Party operatives, et cetera, et cetera. But we're still all journalists. I mean, our job is still roughly the same to gather information and give it to our readers and viewers. And this is a massive threat, not simply to me and my show or you and your show, but to journalism itself, to the idea of a free press. You can't have a free press if the intel agencies are secretly spying on you and then using that information to threaten you and to control you. Like, this is a huge problem for the country. And yet, I don't think there was, outside of, say, Glenn Greenwald, I don't think that there was anybody who stood up and said, wait a second, this is a huge problem for all of us. Instead, they made excuses for the NSA. Well, you must have been, emailing with threatening foreign actors. Well, I'm allowed to email with anyone I want, for one thing. I'm a journalist, and I'm an American, more importantly. It's none of your business who I'm emailing with. If you think I'm committing a crime, then charge me with it. And if I'm not committing a crime, then please leave me alone. I have a right to communicate in private with other people because I'm, again, an American citizen and a human being. But journalists made excuses for this behavior, for the intel agencies' criminal behavior. It's like mind-boggling to me.
And this is exactly why we wanted you on this program, because we agree with you. This is wrong. It must be stopped. And the politicizing of all of these government agencies is out of control, from the NSA to the Department of Defense to the IRS. Now, do you think that the NSA is doing this on their own, or is it being directed by the Biden administration?
Well, they are part of the Biden administration, though they seem to operate independently of any political control. I mean, again, in the U.S. government, all the power rests with the people who were elected because this is supposed to be a democracy. No agency is supposed to act independently of elected officials, period. So, I don't know. Here's what I do know, and I know it on direct authority, that the NSA routinely gives information on American citizens to the Justice Department, to the FBI, which it then uses in its intel division. Now, that's illegal. They're not allowed to spy on American citizens. That law has been on the books for a long time. The NSA is designed to monitor foreign communications from our potential enemies, from people who threaten the United States, not from American citizens. But it is routine, and I got this from 2 FBI agents, who would know, not just field guys, people who work at headquarters. This is a daily thing. Yes, we get information from the NSA on Americans, and we use it in our investigations. Really, what? And there's supposed to be oversight of this by the Congress, by the Intel Committee. And there's not. I spoke to a member of the Intel Committee 3 years ago who told me to my face that he was being spied upon by the NSA and CIA. This is not this is not a homeless guy in the subway. This is a sitting member of the Intel Committee who said the people he was supposed to be overseeing were spying on him, and there's nothing he can do about it. That's a totally dysfunctional, out-of-control third-world system. The last administration did not fix it to their, I'm sorry to say it, but they didn't. And they should be embarrassed of that. They should have. And this administration is benefiting from it. Somebody needs to step up and say, this is scary, and we have to stop it now.